one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. It's gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2-3. 1, 2, 3. Finish.
I can't even think about all of the shit I did to fit in. Past hard to watch like a fucking scary movie. I'm always happy to meet somebody that never knew me. Change for the better, hope niggas are living through me. I put it all on the wax so the people can know the true me. Hard to remain sane when the people you love the most is what's causing the damn pain. Y'all beef by the same thing, we ain't playing the same game. It's all for my family. She the girl of your fucking dreams, but to me she a plain Jane. You dipper and ball man, I dump when them calls came. This that higher level thinking. I'm the type to jump the fuck off for the shit before it's sinking. Not here for no new shit. My game slide to boost it. Ain't I don't have to prove shit. Rockstar fight the fool shit. My movie, this the new script. I want a life with no bullshit. Nigga, I know on these news clips. That's why I dap him and move quick. Won't be around when they move switch. Won't be around when they lose clips. Won't be around for they lose lips. Might be the reason they pull shit. Yeah.
Well, Dak, here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence, and nobody can hang with my stuff. I'm just a big, hairy American winning machine. If you ain't first, you're last.
Christmas in the NFL is officially here. This was like the first Christmas game, bro. I know we got 3 games on Sunday, but this was like the beginning. This was like the kickoff to Christmas football, basically. Because, on Christmas Eve, a lot of games. Bro, I just realized all those games that was happening on Christmas. Sunday is basically Saturday, and Saturday is basically Sunday from last week. So you get 3 games on Sunday. We're not talking about those Sunday games. We're talking about all the Saturday games. To start off the show, though, obviously, we're going to talk about this Jaguars-Jets game. I picked the Jags to win this game. Game played out pretty much exactly how I expected it to. 19-3 win for the Jags on the road. Excuse me. Like I said, the Jags, I just did a video talking about the Jags. They have their own destiny in their hands. They went out, they make the playoffs because they win the division. This loss tonight basically eliminated, I don't know if it mathematically eliminated the Jets, but the Jets probably wouldn't have made the playoffs coming into this game because of the standings and whatnot. I find it very hard to believe they'll make the playoffs now after losing this game tonight. To start off the game, though, I want to talk about, to start off the show tonight, I want to talk about Zach Wilson. I can't make up my mind if people doing Zach Wilson dirty or if Zach, I mean, I get it. He's not a good quarterback. I understand that. But I don't know what's the purpose of booing this dude every time he touched the football. They was booing this dude when he got sacked. Like, what the fuck he supposed to do about getting sacked? Like, they booed him when he threw the ball out, threw the ball in the dirt, which is something you would want your quarterback to do when he finna take a sack, when you try to run a screen and it's already broken. He did exactly what you want a quarterback to do. They booed him. I think one of the biggest problems with, I'm not saying that Zach Wilson not a bad player. I understand all that. The problem, I don't think Tyler Huntley is a good quarterback. I don't boo him when he go out there and make mistakes. Because what the fuck is that going to do for the Ravens? What is that going to do for Tyler Huntley? What is that going to do for the team? To hear their home crowd booing them constantly. And I talk about this with New York sports all the time. The Yankee fans, the Mets fans. Hell, I done got on the Phillies fans. Like, booing your own crowd, like booing your own players, your own team, is counterproductive. You turn a home game into an away game. And that's a problem. Especially in the NFL when you only get a handful of home games. Just basically every game you play in the NFL ain't a home game. So when you have home games, you got the same number of home games as you got as road games. When you start to flip that balance because the fans at home start to boo you, now you got a problem. It's kind of like how the Rams and the Chargers basically play multiple road games even when they at home because more people from the away team fill up the stadium. The Jets fans booing the way they did tonight, just to me, what kind of confidence is that going to instill in your quarterback? I understand you don't feel like it's he not good, he not playing great. You rather have Mike White, blah blah blah. What does booing him do for you? This is a game that you need to win. A high pressure situation, you're not booing your child. Like, even if you know they ain't the greatest. In a situation like this, you're not booing them. So I understand that you might not think Zach Wilson is the greatest player. Be critical of him. I get all that. Booing him every time he touched the football, this ain't basketball. Mind you, I don't like when the home team do that, but it's rare that a home team is booing their own team like this. Booing Zach Wilson the way you did, the way the Jets fans did tonight, bro, what? Y'all gave this man one drive basically to do something. And then and I don't think Zach Wilson played good. I don't think Zach Wilson is an NFL quarterback. I don't even know if he a backup at this moment, because when the only play that you look for constantly is the big play, that's a problem. Then you put on top of the fact you're really not that great at hitting the big play. You don't take check downs and things of that nature because you don't really see those plays, because you don't really read the defense as good. You look at the game tonight, I realized they was talking, and that's another thing. It felt like they was only being critical of Zach Wilson tonight. Like, it's hard to watch a player try to play through the crowd booing him, and he don't even hear the announcers talking about him. But I kind of felt for Zach Wilson in this moment, because I done seen quarterbacks play just as bad throughout the season and not take nowhere near the criticism, i.e. a Baker Mayfield. However, my biggest gripe is really with the fans. Like, I get y'all don't like this. Well, I don't get y'all not liking him, because that's just wild. This still a human being. This dude is what, 22, 21? And y'all treating this dude like, to me, it's just crazy. I think professional sports is the only time you allowed to bully people, no matter what the age of them is, no matter what their age is, and you get to try to run away from it by saying, well, they got to play better and all this type of stupid shit. But I felt for Zach Wilson, because I know, he could have been in his own head out there tonight. It's no telling how he was feeling. It's just like I defended Zach, what's my man's name? Ben Simmons, when everybody was going at Ben Simmons. I'm like, yo, this is bullying at this point. I get it. And I told you, I like the Jets defense, but they at a point where the offense is just not good enough to be able to beat teams anymore right now. Late in the season, with teams that's done constantly gotten better throughout the season, they getting healthier. The Jets aren't, and that's a problem. However, I understand all that stuff. The head coach being as fickle as if Rob Saleh had made a decision to bench Zach Wilson within the second drive of the game, I really think that's a decision you should have had made up before coming into the game. You knew what Zach Wilson could possibly give you. To pull him in a game once again on national TV, I don't understand this concept of continuing to kill your own quarterback self-esteem. I get it. If this is the absolute last time you'll ever have Zach Wilson starting, so be it. But to me, it just feel like that was a fickle move, like a to the crowd type of move. I don't know. I wasn't really feeling it, but and then the backup for Zach Wilson, who people was cheering for, Strever, whatever, however you pronounce his name, he don't have a strong arm at all. He just came in and did a bunch of running, and the fans started cheering for that because, something good happens. And I can hear the people on TV talking about this tomorrow, but I just think people killing Zach Wilson. I defend Mac Jones and not having proper people there to facilitate his development. Now, I can't say necessarily the same thing is going on in New York, because I think New York got weapons. I like the receivers over there. I like the running game over there. They got great defenders over there. Zach Wilson is playing bad. It's plain and simple. You plug in Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes, Joe Burrow, all those different players. This is a winning Jets organization, which is interesting, because the Jets should be trying to go all out to try to trade for Lamar Jackson. But that's a different topic. Zach Wilson have things at his disposal. and he not playing good. Now, you can question the development that's going on and all these other type of things. I don't care necessarily about all that because I don't think Lamar Jackson had the greatest development. I see what he do with nowhere near the talent. My thing with Zach Wilson is not even necessarily Zach Wilson. It's the Jets. You drafted this dude, second in the draft? For him to be this bad, not only is he this bad, the coach's confidence being a roller coaster. So even if it was a shot that this dude could turn it around, his confidence going to be shot because his coach no longer has faith in him. So it's a short leash. I just think the whole situation bad. And I'm going to say this again. When you waste draft picks that high in the draft, you basically is throwing away seasons and wasting time and money and all those other type of wasting careers. Like I don't like the idea of having somebody drafted that high in the draft and just missing on them. That's why I don't have a problem when certain teams take defensive players. If they is 100% sure or closer to 100% sure a defensive player going to be a game changer, take them. Because taking Zach Wilson number 2, Baker number 1, Sam Darnold number 3, and then they're no. Not mind you, the Jets fucked up twice. They took Sam Darnold, could have took Lamar Jackson, could have took Josh Allen. And then you go around and you take. Now, the Zach Wilson draft probably wasn't as strong. But I mean, I don't know, man. It's a tough one for the Jets, bro. Because obviously you now in the market for a quarterback. I think it's insane to go into next year thinking that Mike White is the answer. I'm almost certain they'll do that though if they don't want to make a trade for Lamar Jackson or try to push for a trade for him or another established quarterback. And I don't even think New York got the greatest offensive scheme that's conducive for a quarterback. I know that Zach Wilson's not great, but this is a run-first team. If I'm a quarterback, I don't want to play for a run-first offense. I just don't. And what I'm starting to realize is some of these offensive coordinators mixed with head coaches, they care more about what they did to get the job than adapting to what the quarterback can do. So you might have a quarterback who can throw, who's a great quarterback, but they're going to plug him into a run-first offense, and that's going to irritate the fuck out of that quarterback, stunt development. Now, this is a completely different story if you already getting an established quarterback. But I'm talking about a young quarterback who is more, he can't just call his shots and things of that nature. So I don't know with this New York situation, man. This is an interesting situation. Obviously, you love the defense. It got a lot of great players. I like the offense. I think the offense got a lot of great players. This is a Super Bowl contending team if they had a quarterback. They're a quarterback away. I just don't know how they get it at the moment. And then looking on the other side for the Jags, they only scored 1 touchdown in this game, I believe it was, on a quarterback sneak by Trevor Lawrence. They did exactly what a team that played the Jets this year do. The Jets defense holds you as long as they can until it's just nothing left they can do, and the offense usually lets them down. It is what it is. Travis Etienne had a good game. I mean, it was a clean game for the Jags all the way around. I think I do want to say, they did fumble the ball in the beginning of the game. Trevor Lawrence got sacked, fumbled by Quentin Williams. Marvin Jones dropped the catch in this game. It was like on the first drive of the game or the second one where Trevor Lawrence tried to throw deep to him. And it was a great throw. And it should have been caught because Marvin Jones got up higher than the cornerback, got his hands up and everything. Problem. Tried to catch it with his arms and his body, not with his hands. If he had caught it with his hands, he would have caught it. And that's the difference between A.J. Brown, D-Hop, and all the Devontae Adams and the top Justin Jeffersons and the top receivers in the game compared to other receivers who are not consistent hands-catching receivers. Because that's all I could think about in that moment. I'm like, a hands-catching receiver, one of the top receivers would have caught that. But I get this dude dropping it. And I understand a fan might think, that's a bad throw or that's hard to catch. Nah, a great receiver who catch with his hands would have caught that. And that's no shot at Marvin Jones. It's just something that ran through my mind as I was watching the game. But, great game for the Jags. Everything is in front of them. Like I said, you win these next 2 games, You win the division and you in the playoffs. They talked about a lot how tonight they showed a lot of quotes from players who like Doug Peterson. I'm not shocked that Doug Peterson done turned the culture around a little bit and guys love him far more than they like Urban Myers. I mean, that's not really, I don't got to spend too much time talking about that one. That's a no-brainer. But let's get into these games on Saturday, Week 16, Christmas Eve. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Yo, I've never listened to that song. What's the Christmas song? That Darlene Love song, that shit's a banger, bro. They're singing Deck the Halls, but it's not like Christmas at all. That's a banger, bro. I heard this other song, what is it called? Last Christmas I gave you my heart, and the very next day you gave it away. This year, to save me from tears, I give it to someone special. That's a banger too. I'm not gonna lie. I wish some of these great black singers remix some of these songs, bro, or redo some of these songs, or some of Pentatonics be fucking shit up too. That Hallelujah. Didn't even know that was a Christmas song. Well, I heard there was a secret chord that David played, and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do you? Ooh. You know, the Pentatonic be fucking that shit up, but well, it goes like this, the fourth, the fifth, they be fucking that shit up, bro. I'm trying to tell you. Hey, Hallelujah is a banger, bro. Every time I hear that, I think my favorite version of Hallelujah, though. It might be the Leonard Cohen one, bro, because it just sound. Nah, it's got to be the Pentatonics one, bro. That shit a banger, bro. They be fucking that shit up, but Leonard Cohen is still a monster, bro. He got this famous blue raincoat track. Well, I see you there with the rose in your teeth. One more thing, gypsy thief. Yo, he fucked that shit up. Jane came by with a lock of your hair. Yo, he fucked that shit up, bro. He fucked that. I be listening to this shit, bro. I done heard a little bit of everything, bro. But listen. Before we stop talking about Christmas songs real quick, I would be remiss if I didn't bring up Chris Brown's This Christmas. Absolute banger. The movie is a banger. One of my favorite Christmas movies of all time, which is interesting because I don't really got my favorite Christmas movies is all animations. None of them is real movies, like live action type movies. I hate saying live action because live action is what you say for like remakes of movies that's like video games and shit. Just like a normal movie with real motherfucking actors and actresses. It's not an animation. The only one I like that's really a Christmas movie that I can think of. I used to see that. I done seen that movie Jingle All the Way, but I've never watched it since I wasn't a child anymore. But This Christmas got to be like my favorite one. Black Family. I wish they had made more of them shits, bro, and made them even funnier, bro. They could remake that shit and put a whole new cast in there and make that shit just an epic black comedy, bro. And I would love that shit. Not like those cheap black comedies, bro, that's really not funny. That they be having like popular dudes who just might have blown up or whatnot. Not that shit. Like make a legitimate motherfucker. Like I don't want T.I. producing it. I want somebody that really know what they do. Who is that motherfucker? Like Lee Daniels or something? Maybe damn, what's my man who did Black Panther, bro? I know Jordan Peele too, but he more into the horror stuff. What is my man's name? Ryan Coogler. I just want somebody to make like a This Christmas remake or just a whole nother version and make it way funnier. You know what I'm saying? Because the first This Christmas was great. I mean, just think of all the phenomenal actors and actresses in that movie. The black excellence throughout that movie. This Christmas is a banger, bro. That's a 10 out of 10 movie for me, bro. I think they do the 5-star ratings for this shit. So it's 5 out of 5-star rating movie for me, bro. Just hang on the mistletoe. I'm gonna get to know you better. This Christmas. Hey, bro, you know what's another? I just thought about this, bro. The Jackson 5, bro. I cannot remember what songs it is. They got a couple bangers, Christmas songs too, bro. Either way, bro. Let's get into these games. The 8-5-1 New York Giants head to Minnesota to take on the 11-3 Minnesota Vikings. I'm taking the Vikings in that one. I understand that the Giants just came off of a big win. I understand their record and everything. The Giants could make the playoffs. Listen, I like the performance from the defense last week. The Vikings is a tough team to pick or talk about because I done basically said the same thing about them all year. And they done really leaned into the shit I was saying about them early in the year. They really leaning into it now. But even with that, they are still an 11-3 team. And it just is what it is. I don't think the Giants is. I think the Vikings will have to play bad for the Giants to win this game. Because I just don't think the Giants is good enough. I don't think they provide enough offensively. I think the Vikings offense is just way better than the Giants. Saquon could have a big game. A lot of things can happen to the Vikings. That's why it's so hard to pick this game, bro, because the Vikings legitimately could just go out there and lay an egg. But if it's enough time on the clock mathematically for them to win the game still, they'll probably find a way to win it. Now, I don't think this shit going to work out for them when they get to the playoffs unless they playing against certain teams. However, they are one of those certain teams that might not really be able to beat nobody in the playoffs could end up getting a win because the Vikings can just lay an egg. But I'm going to take the Vikings in this game to beat the Giants. The 7-7 Seahawks travel to Kansas City to take on the 11-3 Kansas City Chiefs. I picked the Seahawks. It's funny that I'm coming from the Giants to the Seahawks because I picked the Seahawks to make the playoffs in the NFC because I thought that they could end up winning out, or not necessarily winning out. I thought they would finish stronger than the other teams that's competing for a spot. My pick might end up going to the Lions because the Seahawks are 7-7, as are the Lions. I don't think the Seahawks win in this game, and I think the Seahawks got another game this season that I'm not picking them to win. So Seahawks Chiefs in Kansas City. Listen, I understand Kansas City just had a rough one against Houston, but they still pulled it out. And I even think this will be a competitive game. I just don't think Kansas City Chiefs defense will do not a lot to really slow down the offense for the Seahawks. The Seahawks have had some rough couple weeks offensively, maybe one or two rough couple. I think they could go toe-to-toe with Pat Mahomes in this game, not because Geno is as good as Pat Mahomes, because the Chiefs' defense done gave up more passing touchdowns than any defense in the league this year, I believe. And I just don't think they are good enough. Even when Pat Mahomes is great, you would expect that the past Chiefs defense is played off of that. This defense still garbage, at least defending the pass. So you bring Geno, DK, Lockett into this, I think they'll still be able to get points. I do think it'll come down to the wire, though. And I think Geno might make a mistake because he does hold on to the ball too long at times. And I think that's what will ultimately propel the Chiefs over the top. But I think this could end up being like a 40-43 type of game or some shit like this could be a high-scoring game. Because I don't think neither defense will come to play in this game. The 5-9 Falcons head into Baltimore to take on the 9-5 Ravens. This is an important game for both teams. The Falcons win this game with a Bucs loss. I think that'll move them a game within first place in the division. Because the NFC South is so atrocious right now, you got three teams that's sitting at 5-9. The leader in the division is 6-8. It's a wide open division. If the Falcons somehow win out and the Bucs lose out, the Falcons make the playoffs, I believe. But the Ravens win this game. They are in the playoffs. They come into this game once again without Lamar Jackson. I know if you listen to me, you probably expect me to go on a tangent right about now about the Ravens and everything that they are doing, but I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to take this moment to shout out Stephen A. Smith, who I'm very critical of at times. Not overly critical like some people. Like, I'm not dedicating shows to Stephen A. Smith and shit like that. But if I think about him or something he said when I'm talking about a topic, I might bring him up. Stephen A. Smith must have done started watching Ravens games, or at least somebody done talked to him, got him to highlights or something. Because on First Take this morning, it was a question, a dumbass question, that was like, should the Ravens consider parting ways with Lamar Jackson? And that was a laughable thing to me. So when I saw it, I clicked it because I was like, I got to hear what these doofuses say. And Stephen A. was like, should the Ravens part with him? Lamar Jackson should consider parting. I'm paraphrasing. He basically said Lamar should be considering parting ways with the Ravens, not the Ravens parting ways with him. And then he started so eloquently breaking it down, basically telling y'all what I done told y'all for months. Lamar Jackson can go to the negotiating table and say, I done given you everything. If you want to talk about my injuries, that's on y'all because of what I had to do, because of what y'all didn't give me. You can't look across the table if you the Ravens and say we done given you everything to help you succeed. Can't do that. Lamar can literally point to every single quarterback that's on his level or people consider better than him and say, look at what they have to work with and look at what I've been given to work with. Look at what these teams went and did on there for their quarterbacks when they were on the rookie deal, and look what you went and did for me on my rookie deal. I don't imagine the Ravens would want to play that type of game, but I could be wrong. But somehow, some way, I'm taking the Ravens to win this game. I understand I told you the Falcons are a weird team. They can score and then they can't. They run the ball decent, but they have Desmond Ridder, the rookie, under center. I think that'll help with for Baltimore's defense. So I expect Baltimore to find. I couldn't tell you how it'll probably be a dominant run game because I don't trust Tyler Huntley throwing the ball, and I don't think the coaching staff does either. So listen. If you somebody who don't watch the Ravens, but you watch highlights and you listen to the media tell you that Tyler Huntley is just as good as Lamar Jackson or he's not that much worse, they've been lying to you. Tyler Huntley and Lamar Jackson are not the same player. Nowhere near. Tyler Huntley don't even run the ball nowhere near as good as Lamar when he scrambled with it. So I'm still taking the Ravens to win this game and lock up a playoff spot. And if they do that, I'm imagining Lamar probably won't play again to the playoffs, which I hope don't happen if he do plan on coming back, because I don't like players coming off of a long break as long as he finna come off of and then try to play in the playoffs, because they definitely will hold that against him. The 7-7 red hot motherfucking Detroit Lions head into the Carolina to take on the 5-9 Carolina Panthers. We're not going to have to spend too much time on this game. I do want to talk about people who said they feel like Jared Goff was snubbed in the Pro Bowl voting. Shit, I kind of agree. You really can't show me too many quarterbacks playing, and I can't think of the quarterbacks who playing in the Pro Bowl for the NFC at the moment. I probably could just guess though, even though Jalen Hurts is definitely gonna be one of them. Dak Prescott could be one, but I'm not sure. He might not be one. It's not a lot of quarterbacks playing great. Brady not playing great. Rodgers not playing great. I can't imagine either of them two was voted in. Stafford not even playing. Geno could have one of them spots. I got to be forgetting somebody, because I'm not putting in Washington's quarterback, the Giants quarterback. Moving to that Bears. Kirk Cousins could have. Nah, he ain't even having that crazy season. His team just got a great record. It's got to be Geno that's in. I got to look that up. I'm actually interested. I want to see that shit. Point is, I agree with the people who say Jared Goff was snubbed. Jared Goff should have made the Pro Bowl. I 1,000% agree with that. Now y'all know I done talked about how I felt about Jared Goff in the past. I don't think I done been mean about Jared. I don't think I'm mean about no player. Maybe you could say that for Baker, but Jared Goff is what he is. I'm gonna put it like that. But if Jared Goff done turned a corner and he done evolved from what he was, Jared Goff could be a great option. Like I done said it before. If the Lions, because I think the Lions gonna win this game. I'm not spending too much time. I got the Lions winning this game. The Lions is actually my new pick to make that last spot in the playoffs. I'm changing my mind. That's the team I'm picking to make the playoffs. The thing about the Lions is I'm not scared to pick the Lions against the Panthers. The thing, I know I had this thing going where I don't pick the Lions because I was jinxing them, but that's against certain teams. The Panthers ain't one of them teams. I'm fully confident that the Lions going to beat the Panthers because the Panthers can't score on the level of the Lions. The thing with Jared Goff is, I said it, if the Lions are in a position to draft a quarterback that they believe is a game-changing, franchise-changing quarterback, you got to do that over paying Jared Goff. However, if there is no other options, you got to re-sign Jared Goff and try to sign him to a friendly, like a cap friendly or a team friendly deal. There's no way I would sign him to like nothing crazy. And yeah, I'm looking at the quarterbacks that made it in the NFC. Geno, Jalen Hurts, and Kirk Cousins. I get Jalen Hurts making it. I can make an argument, an easy argument. What the fuck? Now I am kind of confused now because Jared Goff should have made the Pro Bowl. And the Pro Bowl don't really matter because it's a joke at this point. Plus, I will definitely be doing another video this year about how to make the Pro Bowl better. But Geno Smith, as much as I love Geno Smith and what he done this year, I rock with cousin Kurt. Neither of them two done had a better season than Jared Goff. I understand both teams, and the fucking Seahawks don't even have a better record. Like the Seahawks done started losing and shit recently. Either way, I understand you put Kirk Cousins in there because of the Vikings, even though that's just and I understand the arguments people would try to make for Kirk Cousins to try to highlight his bigger moments within the season, because this ain't even one of his normal seasons where he throwing for a bunch of ridiculous pointless yardage and whatnot. I could make an easy argument. Shit, I could make an argument that you should put Goff in over Jalen Hurts. I'm not, because I don't believe he deserves a spot over Jalen Hurts. To me, Jalen Hurts should definitely be the starting quarterback for the NFC. But Goff should be number 2, because I love Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown ain't A.J. Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown ain't DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. That's who Geno and Kirk Cousins throwing it to. And Amon-Ra Brown is a future stud receiver in this league. But Jared Goff should have definitely made the playoffs. The Pro Bowl over Geno and as a matter of fact, if I had to pick the Pro Bowl roster for the quarterbacks, it would have been not Kirk Cousins. One, it would have been easy. Jalen Hurts, my guy, Roll Tide. 2, it would have been Jared Goff. 3, see, this is hard for me because Kirk Cousins, I'm not putting him in just because his team's record. And that's when it become between 3 people. Kirk, Dak, and Geno. And I'm going to be dead ass serious with you. I would put Dak Prescott in the Pro Bowl right now over the other 2. Because while Dak done had his little interception run the last couple weeks, Dak Prescott, when he is on his game with this offense, they just look better to me than Kirk Cousins. And plus, I understand we look at what Dak got to work with. He ain't got no Justin Jefferson either. I done seen Justin Jefferson and Cook bail the Vikings out of games. And I understand people saying, oh, well, Kurt had to make certain throws. Bro, some of them throws Kurt make wasn't the throw. It was the catch. It was the receiver, not the quarterback. And I'm not trying to take nothing away from Kurt. And I know people going to hate that I said Dak. But listen, I'm not mad if you put Geno in there over Dak. But I could make the same argument that Geno, as good as he done been, he done slowed down in the second half. But not only that, he played with 2 top-notch receivers. So I'm done arguing the Jared Goff when Jared Goff should have been in there. To me, if I had to take the Pro Bowl quarterbacks for the NFC, it would have been. See, it was easy in the AFC because Lamar hurt, and in the AFC it would have been as easy. I agree with the people they chose. I know some people making an argument. Oh, Tua shouldn't have made it over the 3 quarterbacks that made it. Now, Tua, I also can't argue for Tua because some people be like, well, look at the weapons that Joe Burrow got. Look at the weapons Tua got. So that's the only person who you could try to argue, and you can't even argue it with Tua because he got weapons just like Burrow. Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes should have definitely made it. You already know how I feel about that. But, yeah, Jared Goff was definitely snubbed, and the Lions are going to win this weekend. The 10-4 Bengals, speaking of Joe Burrow, the 10-4 Bengals head into New England, Gillette Stadium, a once hallowed ground during this time of the year, to take on the 7-7 Patriots, who came off of a buffoonish loss last week. I'm taking the Bengals. Listen, I understand the Patriots battling for a playoff spot and all this other type of shit. So, they should want to. Listen, The Bengals are just too talented of a team. And I'm not sure if all the players will be healthy. If they don't have two of the receivers playing, that do help. I'm still picking the Bengals, but it'll probably be a closer game. If they have two of those top receivers back, this ain't going to be no close game in my opinion. It'll definitely be a Bengals win. The Bengals understand what they're fighting for. They're trying to get home field. They're trying to lock up the division, win the division. And listen, the Bengals is just a hyper-talented team. For one, the Bengals defense, in my opinion, is just far too good for Mac Jones in this offense. This is a defense that'll probably turn the ball over. They'll get Mac to turn the ball over in this offense probably 2 or 3 times. Mac will struggle to score on this offense in the complete passes. And I'm not putting it on Mac. It's just he the captain and he the leader of this offense, so I'm using him as to describe everybody basically. But this will be a long game from the Patriots. I do not expect that they'll score too many points in this game. And the thing with the Bengals is they can play an ugly, grinded out type of game. So I got the Bengals winning this game. The 5-9 New Orleans Saints head into Cleveland to take on the 6-8 Cleveland Browns. Now I understand that the Browns are still in the hunt. The Saints are still in the hunt for the simple reason they can still win the division. But I'm going to take the Browns to win this game. For one, the Saints are playing outside of a dome in the cold. Now, it could possibly be snowing in Cleveland at this time of the year. So that's always interesting to see the Saints have to go out and play in a cold weather city at this time of the year. But I just don't trust the Saints offense. I really don't. I understand somehow they find ways to win 5 games so far this year. But as bad as the Browns offense has looked at points in time since, really as bad as they done looked, period, since Deshaun done got back, excluding, I guess, the one touchdown drive he finally had last week. It's not that because I don't think this will be a high-scoring game either. I think this could end up being like a 10-13 type of game also. But I think Nick Chubb will find a way to make the play at the end. Plus, Deshaun Watson, the more and more he get comfortable, the more and more I'm just assuming he'll get better and more acclimated. I think one of the biggest problems with Deshaun Watson right now is he's just not confident. And I don't really think it's that he's not confident in his talent. I don't think he's confident in the space that he in. Like, he know people looking at him sideways. He know people saying what they saying. People got thoughts about him. You know, everybody he meeting on the sidelines and within the structure of an NFL game that he meeting throughout the day can probably feel some type of way about him. Probably done said something about him that he saw on Twitter or heard. You know what I'm saying? So he just is a man of he like a fish on land right now. Like he out of his element. And so I think that's one of the reasons that's contributing to him struggling the way he has recently. But the more and more he get, and I don't think that's something as a human. I mean, unless he just don't give a damn what other people think and it's just really him just rusty, then that's one thing. But I really think it's just going to take him time to get adjusted to being in front of people like this again and hearing what fans say when you're not in Cleveland and whatnot. So I'm still taking Cleveland to win this game. It'll probably be an ugly game, though. The 11-3 Buffalo Bills head into Chicago to take on the 3-11 Bears. Listen, bro, it's cold in Buffalo, it's cold in Chicago. I can't imagine that the cold. Listen, it won't be good for anybody because who the fuck wants to play in these type of temperatures? But I'm taking the Bills. And I don't even know if this will be as close. I see people give Justin Fields a lot. Oh, you know, they lose close games, even though the majority of NFL games is decided by less than double-digit points. Either way, though, I see people give Justin Fields so much credit. And these motherfuckers is 3-11. And it ain't just because of the defense. The offense wasn't good in the beginning of the season. Now, the only thing the offense is Justin Fields taking off running. You have to hope a defense is just not ready for that. That's literally how they done started scoring the last couple. Oh, can nobody stop it? That's because that shit wasn't happening early in the season. Now he done just started. The whole offense is Justin Fields running. He run more than the running back. And I know people are like, oh, well, he run for more yardage too. Yeah, but he got more carries than the running back in multiple games. That is a problem. Like, I done said it before. I don't think he the greatest at dissecting defenses, anticipation throws, and all those other type of things. I'm not telling you that he can't throw a football. I'm just telling you from what I need my quarterback to be, what you need a quarterback to be for a franchise. I don't think he there yet. Now, you could say it's not the development or whatever. I don't know at this point. He done had 2 different coaches. He done had 2 different coordinators. It's still yet to be determined. But from what I've seen, I don't think Justin Fields is a franchise quarterback. I know it's a lot of people that think otherwise. But I got the Bills winning this game. I think the Bills defense also will be prepared for what Justin Fields does. I think this could be a tough game for Justin Fields because Leslie Frazier, I just got a feeling he going to have an answer. The 1-12-1 Houston Texans head to Tennessee to take on the Tennessee Titans, who are 7-7 and free falling. And listen, bro, I wanted to pick against the Titans, obviously because I want the Jags to win the division. But I'm not going to do that. The Titans are going to win this game. I can't pick the Texans to win this game. The Texans, to me, is just not a good enough team. That's 1. They should be trying to get the first pick in the draft. That's 2. So I can't imagine. And listen, I understand they've been competitive the last 2 weeks against good teams. I get it. And they could be competitive enough to win this game. Like, if they bring the effort from the last 2 weeks, excluding the end of games, into this game against the Titans, they'll probably win it based off of how the Titans been playing. Plus, you got to think, Ryan Tannehill is out for the rest of the remainder of the season, so now you got Willis coming in. You know, I don't know what you do with him the last 3 games of the season trying to fight for a playoff spot. That's an awkward spot to try to throw a rookie quarterback into. Everything in this game is telling me to pick the Texans, and I do hope the Texans win this game. You know what? Nah, I already made my slide. I'm going to pick the Titans to win it. But, man, it's just something in me saying that the Texans is going to win this game. Hold up. Let me run through these teams. Who? The Bears got 3 losses. I think they could win this game and be safe because there's no other team in the league that's even got 2 losses on the season. They have the lowest amount of wins by 2 because the Bears have 3. They got 1. They win this game, they still got more losses. And plus, the Bears is going to lose this weekend, I understand. But that'll put them both at 12 losses. But the Bears, the Texans also have less wins. So I think that'll keep them sitting at first. But I'm going to take the Titans to win this game, even though a lot of things is telling me that the Texans should win. But the Texans do dumb shit at the end of the game to make me feel like they purposely losing games. The 7-6, bro, it's crazy how many different teams I done had to read 3 different numbers for their record. 7-6-1 Commanders heading to San Fran to take on the 10-4 49ers. Bro, I'm not going to spend all this time raving about the 49ers like I usually do. And about Kyle Shanahan and how great the offense and the organization and the culture is. I'm not going to spend all this time raving about my boy Kyle Juszczyk, who made yet another Pro Bowl. I'm not going to spend this time raving about my guy George Kittle. I'm not going to, spend a whole bunch of time on I'm not going to do all that. I think the 49ers will win this game. The 49ers, to me, seem to be the second best. They look like the best team in the NFC to a lot of people. They don't look better than the Eagles to me still. But this is definitely the second best team in the NFC to me. I like what I've seen from Brock Purdy. I don't trust Brock Purdy because I still can't trust somebody who I've only seen 2 games of. 1 half a game, basically, even though that was technically a full start, to be completely honest with you. But I just don't want to put my faith in a dude who ain't never been through these type of challenges that's about to come up when it come playoff time. Even if the 49ers is more talented than most of the teams they're about to play. The difference maker has been the 49ers defense. I don't think they've given up even 20 points in the last couple weeks. This 49ers defense is back to being dominant, even without Rob Salah. Because that boy DeMeco Ryans over there balling. He doing his shit, bro. And he couldn't get a job over Jeff Saturday. Okay, that's interesting. But anyways, the 13-1 Philadelphia Eagles will head into Dallas to take on the 10-4 Cowboys. The Eagles, y'all know how much I love Jalen Hurts and them boys over there. I got to pick against them for like the first time in 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks or so. I haven't picked against the Eagles in a long time. I don't even think I done picked against the Eagles but twice this season. And it probably wasn't even that many times. Either way, the Eagles, I'm only picking against them because, for one, Jalen Hurts won't be playing. Gardner Minshew starting. So if Gardner Minshew is starting, I just have to believe that if the Cowboys are the team that they say they are, You got Dak starting. You got your defense that just gave up 500 fucking yards of offense last week against the Jags. I'm having to imagine you're not going to let Gardner Minshew go crazy. And to the crowd out there that say, oh, well, the Eagles so talented of a team, they can win without Jalen Hurts. It's just so funny to me how nobody says the Bengals are so talented of a team they could win without Joe Burrow. Now, I understand a lot of people don't like to acknowledge the talent on the Bengals, but I never hear people say that. I never heard people say Josh Allen could, the Bills could win with all the talent that they have and the team that they have. I never hear nobody say they could win without him. But for some reason, I hear people talk crazy about Lamar Jackson and what people could do if it wasn't him and somebody else. And now people doing it to Jalen Hurts. I just don't. I'm just at a loss, bro. I don't get it. Like, these motherfuckers literally cannot win because of y'all hating asses. It's just absolutely crazy. I would understand if Jalen Hurts was playing more of a Brock Purdy type of. They give Brock Purdy more credit than they done gave Jalen Hurts the last couple weeks, bro. It's crazy. And Brock Purdy is clearly playing within the system. Jalen Hurts is one of the reasons the system is what it is. I'm not going to say he is the system because clearly he got talent around him. This ain't no Lamar Jackson situation. But it's so very clear that because of Jalen Hurts having talent around him now, that's done helped unlock even more parts of his game. You take Jalen Hurts off of this team, I do not believe this Eagles team is 13-1 right now. Unless you plugged him in and replaced him with a Lamar Jackson, a Josh Allen, a Pat Mahomes. Great quarterbacks. I don't believe that you could just plug in any quarterback and have them the whole year, and just because you got this much talent that this is a great roster. I don't believe that, because I done seen great teams with a lot of talent that didn't have a quarterback, and they didn't just win all the games because they didn't have. And I know some people will be like, well, look at San Fran. Completely different situation, bro. Their team is literally not built around the quarterback. It's literally, matter of fact, it's built everywhere to prevent them needing a quarterback. And even this team still tries to get a quarterback. So, you can say what you want. But that's my thoughts on that on the Eagles. But I am taking and the people who say what they say about they'd be just as good without him. But I'm taking the Cowboys to win this game because I got no faith in Gardner Minshew. And it's not that I think the Eagles would be bad without Jalen Hurts, but when you lose an MVP caliber player like a Jalen Hurts this year, that's going to affect your offense. And we'll see Saturday. And last but not least, the 6-8. I pray to God that this is not the Sunday night game, but I think it is. The 6-8 Raiders head to Pittsburgh to take on the 6-8 Steelers. And what I'm almost guaranteeing you will be a meaningless fucking game. Neither of these two teams is making the playoffs. How this game was not flexed out of this position a couple weeks ago or last week is insane to me, because I'm almost certain it's the Sunday night game. Neither of these teams is making the playoffs. They both 6-8. It's no miracles is going to happen for them to make the playoffs. All we is hoping is that they have a great game, an exciting offensive field game with drama at the end that make it like crazy. With that being said, I'm taking the Raiders because at the end of the day, I don't trust none of the quarterbacks for the Steelers. I'm almost certain that Mitchell Trubisky will be starting once again. As much as I don't trust Derek Carr this year, and I don't like the Raiders offense, and I don't like the Raiders coach, or I'm not positive when it comes to the Raiders coach, I got nothing but faith in Devontae Adams. And this is the type of team that Devontae Adams could actually put his team over in. Two bad teams where one player could make a big difference. Devontae Adams will be the difference in that game. So I'm taking the Raiders to win that game. And with that being said, listen, bro, I truly do appreciate y'all for joining me on yet another episode of Kicking. But first off, I do want to do a quick shout out real quick. I meant to do it just real quick. First off, shout out to everybody who watched the videos, who click on the videos, who like, subscribe, share. I truly do appreciate y'all, bro, from the bottom of my heart. I truly do. Keep supporting. One day this shit is going to pay off. Not just for me, because when I make it, the give back is going to be crazy. But I want to shout out the Eagles Pro Bowlers real quick because they had the most Pro Bowlers on their team, I believe. I need to go look at San Fran. I don't want to be wrong on that. But Jalen Hurts made the Pro Bowl. Shout out. Miles Sanders made the Pro Bowl. Shout out. A.J. Brown made the Pro Bowl. Shout out. Lane Johnson made the Pro Bowl. Shout out. Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce did make the playoffs, but we ain't talking about Travis. Jason Kelce made the playoffs. Shout out. London Dickerson made the playoffs. Shout out. Darius Slay, call me Slay, made the playoffs. Shout out. Hassan Reddick made the playoffs. Shout out. Quick note on Hassan Reddick. This is what I'm saying when I talk about the Cardinals sometimes. The Cardinals drafted Hassan Reddick and let him leave and go to the Panthers. I think he was traded to the Panthers, as a matter of fact. And then the Panthers let him go to the Eagles. And all he doing is racking up sacks and making Pro Bowls again. Hassan Reddick, for some reason, can't stay on one team. Makes no sense. I'm pretty sure he'll be an Eagle for the next couple years. Makes no sense with a dude with that level of talent. Hassan Reddick has never been bad in his career. He might not have been what he is right now, but he always done been great to good to excellent. He ain't never been a bad player. It's crazy to me that Hassan Reddick done been on 3 different teams. But with that being, like, Yannick Ngakoue, I can understand being on as many teams as he done been on. I don't think Yannick Ngakoue is the same player every stop he done been at. So I can get that. Hassan Reddick has been a beast on every team he done been on. So, interesting. But with that being said, happy motherfucking holidays. Very interesting to see how the video is going to work, because I'm going to try to watch the games. I'm definitely going to try to watch the Sunday night game. I don't really know. I know I'm going to be doing something on Christmas Eve with the fam. I don't know how quick that's going to end or not, but regardless, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to watch the full game and watch most of the games. Either way, have a happy holidays. I will see you once again this week when I see you. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them, man. Saint out.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, she know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy. Scoop her up like I'm raking or something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber. You out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.